What's going on, everybody? Chris and Will here with Team Tangible, Tangible Triumph, Life, Inspiration,
Motivation.
Motivation. That's right, baby. You know how it goes. So, obviously, you could tell, we're doing this quarantine thing. We're taking the social distancing very seriously. This is episode number 6 of our podcast. And, we're not soaring into the eagle's nest today, but we're soaring into a fantastic conversation about life, inspiration, and motivation. And let's discuss a little bit of the gratitude that we have for all the essential workers out there, the people really making the world go around right now.
Oh, yeah, thank you, every single one of you guys, not just the doctors and nurses, and I'm talking about every single person that is continuing to make this economy run and be fruitful.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people are just swimming to keep their head above the water right now, and I commend you, every single one of you.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So, more or less, I mean, our discussions this week have to do with what? Gratitude, and what are you really diving into, Chris?
Diving into a little bit of inner peace, lasting happiness, just basically what we talk about on a daily basis. Just gonna sum it up,
That's it, throwing out the positive vibes.
Oh, yeah.
So, we were talking about it a little bit earlier, and something required in a time like right now is patience. Um, to be an observer to what's going on right now, it's vital to really be patient and understand what's truly going on at this current moment, as far as world events go, and even yourself. It's extremely easy to get lost in everything that's going on and become confused and possibly even deteriorate your own mental health.
Oh, yeah, definitely. When it comes to being patient, I mean, I struggle on that spectrum of things. So I take it into a different aspect and I stop overthinking situations. So when it comes down to being patient, it's just letting my mind be at ease in that moment, especially as I talk about inner peace this week. It comes to just being one with the universe and all things around. And, patience is in that. And patience right now, everybody is asking when we're going to get out of quarantine. And we don't want to do anything that's going to be detrimental to the other people in this world. So let's take it with patience.
Yeah, I've even been taking that approach at work. And this is said very lightly, but I'm wearing a mask. Good, you good? Don't
Yeah.
die on me, dog. But like I was discussing with my partner at work, I'm wearing the gloves for myself and I'm wearing the mask for myself, obviously, but I'm also doing it for the people around me. I know
yeah.
there's people out there that are scared, and certain actions that we take right now, you have to be considerate to the outside world. You got to understand everybody's going through something in their own life at this very moment, and some people are really panicking over what's going on right now.
Oh, yeah. And it comes down to being patient, right? I'm continuing to work, and last Saturday, I'll tell you, our drive-through line was to the road, and we had a crazy loop going on. And it was just the patience that other people were having with the employees was actually very grateful. Everybody that was pulling in the Chick-fil-A, they were waiting a half an hour to 40 minutes in the drive-through because it was so long. But coming out of it, they were being patient when it comes to show that I've heard other stories about how my other fellow, food retail workers, and they're being so impatient when their line is through the roof. They get angry with the employees, and these are your essential workers, right? So when it comes down to it, they're not being patient with them. When we need to, in a time right now, you should be thankful that anything's going on because these people are sacrificing their lives and necessarily their families' lives every single day to provide and be there for you guys.
Well, I even read a few articles over the week, in particular one that a doctor stated that he was sleeping in the RV outside of his house.
Yeah, I
Be-
heard that too this
yeah,
morning.
yeah, and the guy's sleeping in his RV because he doesn't want to get his family sick, but
Hmm.
he also wants to be out there saving lives. And that pulls in the observation. A lot of these people that are out here working right now, for one, they need the money, which should never really be a gravitational pull to keep on continuing to work, but that's just a sad reality of it. And you know take that minute to take all that in. Realize that we're all playing a part in this world that we live in. Without certain individuals, our society wouldn't operate at all. Think about it. If
Oh
people
yeah,
weren't, if people weren't stocking the shelves over at Stop and Shop or Walmart, you wouldn't have food on the table.
yeah. Right now, especially in the world that we live in today, but it goes to show that now is the time for patience. While you're sitting at home, you could actually think about what you could do and be impatient with one another, because now's the time to come together.
Well, you got to figure too. We live in a world of instant gratification. I mean, we have Amazon. Think about it.
Oh yeah,
And
everything wants to be instant now.
uh,
We live in a world with no patience, and that's very un it's not very good for the mind, especially when you try to become with inner peace and everlasting happiness. I mean, that's one thing I knock right out the window, is the aspect of time.
Well, listen, dude, if you want to rush your own happiness, guess what? You're never going to be happy.
Yeah.
Things like that come with time. It's just like learning how to do algebra. You don't understand it the first time you look at a formula. It takes you
Nope.
a few days or weeks to understand that one concept, because algebra really is about problem solving, not math,
Yeah.
you
Problem
know?
solving. Yep. I mean, it's always like that, but it's what you could learn and how you're going to go forward with it, right?
Couldn't agree with you more. And I was also kind of thinking about what's your stance on the past, right? I don't know if I
I said you
discussed.
can't change your past, but you could determine your future.
There it is. That's right. And the past is the past. The future's upon us. And realistically speaking, I think this is a very monumental time for people to evolve into new roles in their own
Hmm.
lives.
I mean, touch a base on that. Yeah, it's like everybody's asking when it's going to go back to normal. Like, this is the new normal. Realistically, like, it should never go back to what we just had. We should be continuing and learning from this mistake or whatever, and practicing this social distancing. Like, it's actually good for us to have our space and to have our distance, and just even less people out, spend some more time at home. And as much as it is, it's
I think it's healthy. And you actually touched on something that I was thinking about on the way to work. I necessarily don't have a family to sit down with every night for dinner, but I think that's a tradition that's been lost within
oh yeah,
technology, right? And right now is the perfect time to even just take advantage of those moments of what's it, solitary moments where
solitary.
solitary, right? And you're with your loved ones. Take advantage of those moments and be at peace. People have lost
Yeah.
their peace because they're not patient in the moment. What's the time worth to you to spend an hour with your family?
Nah, but they'll spend 3 hours on their cell phone or whatever. And I do my days on my cell phone. I'm not gonna say I'm not trying to play that spectrum, but when it comes down to it, it's a habit, and we all need to either break the habit, or it goes down. You can't go on your phone for 6 hours. You're gonna get bored of it, and you're gonna want to go outside anyways. So the limitations of it and being patient with one another. It's, I mean, yeah.
It's just it's honestly it's awakening. And I honestly think that this moment in time that we're in here is definitely a moment to enlighten yourself. We talked about it a few times, but I was even just sitting outside reading a book, and I was thinking about, man, wouldn't it be nice to just go sit in the middle of my yard and just sit down on the ground and enjoy a moment with the earth, instead of looking down at my phone and walking around feeling like I've got something to do or I've missed something, or my phone's in the house. Who's
Yeah.
trying to get in touch with me now? You know what I mean? Or
Oh
just
yeah, I think it's good in that. I mean, I'm not gonna like jump into it, but it's just like when you say that, that's why I believe this whole thing happened, is to give us that life back of just, peace, love, and happiness. Almost just get off of this what we think is life and coming forward and have more of a solitude life and have more of appreciate the now and appreciate what you have. Like, I mean, it said some things like this in the Bible. I can't quote it right now, but in general, like,
oh, it's
until
in
you
every
worship, yeah, until you worship the Lord, and like that's basically what it is when you have this moment of time, so we could get in our mindfulness and see things from a different angle, look at it from a different perspective, and live in that moment of now.
well, and it ties into patience very closely, and it's the patience to either trust yourself or trust the universe or trust the God in which you believe in. Like, it goes back to the concept of when people say, why me? Why me? Why
Oh
me?
yeah.
Well, right now it's why us, because we're all going through the same thing at this current moment. You either got your neighbor waiting for their check from the government, or you got the guy next door that
I
has
got mine today.
life. Let's not talk about it. I'm sick of hearing about it.
I mean, it's a loan.
Typically, I mean, listen.
It's a loan. They're taking it from my taxes when I file later on in the year. I know you say you don't want to talk about it.
It's true. It's true. Listen, I mean, the money's going right back into the pot anyway. You got to think about it. We're
Yes.
basically doing it. This a stimulus package is for that sole purpose, to
Oh yeah.
re-stimulate the economy.
It's a loan that you will have to pay back. So don't let the media portray into thinking something else, because it's the truth.
Man, going against the grain here, huh?
I'm sorry.
Oh
It's just
shit.
funny because I see it on the daily every single day. Like, it's not free money, everybody. This is money that we already paid and we're going to have to pay back.
I mean, honestly, if you want to touch on that a little bit, I'm a firm believer that nothing in life is free.
Oh,
If
yeah.
if you think you're getting a freebie, by any means, you are not.
I mean, it's like what I said in one of my videos. I said, you can't make deals, but you can make a deal with the devil.
Oh, yeah, of course. And it's the truth, because if you think, I talked about it this morning in one of the videos I released. If you think, most people have true intentions and true meaning to what they're doing for you, but you have to also be aware of what are the underlying issues. What's really the purpose here? If somebody's going to knock on my front door and tell me that their trunk is full of groceries and they want to give them to me for free, I'm going to second guess you right off the rip. Why? What's in it for you? My mom says it all the time. It's called with them. What's in it for me? You know what I mean? And
Uh-huh.
it's you know.
Oh, yeah. Alan Watts says something like that. What's in it for me as the monkey takes a fish up the tree?
Right.
You
Yeah.
know?
Right. Yeah. Of course. So it's the times that we're living in right now are very interesting, because a lot of it comes to observing what's truly going on behind the scenes, and you could use that in the context of your own life. When we're working through the processes of life, um, we talk about thoughts, we talk about self-help, self-awareness, reflection. All of these things really build up to an attitude of what's in it for me from myself.
Oh yeah.
So when I'm doing my self-reflection, I'm not self-reflecting to make myself feel bad. I'm self-reflecting to say, well, you made a mistake today and you could fix that tomorrow. You
Oh
don't
yeah.
have to do the same thing.
Oh yeah. I'm a firm believer in that. Because yourself is, basically all that it's going to be. So, like, back to the whole instant gratification. If you're looking to do something just for like fame and fortune, like, you're not going to enjoy it.
Right.
And it won't ever happen. I'll tell you that much, because it's almost, like I said, it's almost to a point. I say it all the time. It's almost to a point where you give up where it actually happens. Look at the famous painters who don't go notice until after they die. Same thing
Oh
with
yeah.
books and writers. It's like they do what they love for years, and it's till they're actually gone that their stuff gets actually noticed, you know?
Well, there's even artists in music that we still blare their music and sing at the top of our lungs because what they say in their songs are so powerful. And most of them were long gone before their songs became anything of mainstream, you
And
know.
what it took for them to get there is patience, and that drive to continue to move forward. I mean, that inspiration and that motivation, they never want to give up, and they love to do what they do. And that's what's awesome about it.
Well, that's simply being one with yourself, understanding yourself, and also finding your purpose.
Oh, yeah.
I could relate it to myself a little bit. When I sit down and write, the world disappears. I found something that really removes me from reality and takes me into a moment where more or less I can understand what's going on in myself, because a lot of my writings have to do with either something I'm going through at this current moment or something that I've been through in the past,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's an outlet.
It brings you to almost that state of inner peace where you're perfectly happy with everything else that's going on around you, no
Exactly.
matter what conflict it is. And, patience is a very hard factor into that. You have to be patient with yourself, but continue to drive and drive and drive every single day. Because Rome was not built in a day.
No, no, it wasn't. It could be destroyed in one day, but it's definitely taken time. I mean, even the Great Pyramids, there's not much known about them, but the numbers for the time that it took to build that is between 10 and 50 years. So, you know, and that structure still stands to this day. So when you really build a solid foundation, you could build a structure that lives forever.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we talk about that on the daily, you
Right.
know? Everything we talk about always coincides. I mean, it always comes together with one thing, is that to create that life of inspiration and motivation.
And also, I guess let's discuss it. I mean, what you give forward is really who you become. You have to try every day. The lifestyle of life, inspiration, and motivation isn't something that you can only do sometimes. I,
Oh,
I can
yeah.
I can relate it to jujitsu. You can be a blue belt, but guess what? Or a brown belt, black belt. But if you give jujitsu up for a year and go back into it, you're not as good as you left. You know,
Yeah, it's a lifestyle. I mean, to continue and to have that inner peace and to have that success through happiness is a lifestyle. I mean, more or less, if you really think about it. I love how you said it, Will.
thank you.
And that's the truth. Just like anybody who works out on the regular, it's a lifestyle.
Right. I mean, even look at a cook in a kitchen. The best food is made by the people who put their passion and love into their food. And cooking in a kitchen is a lifestyle. I don't care what anybody out there says. When you have a good chef in front of you, that chef lives and speaks food every day of his life, his or her life. And it's just
Yeah, when it breaks it down to it, yeah. I mean, I could relate that heavy because yes, it's a lifestyle. And when we speak food, I'm speaking food to you guys. I'm telling you to season every layer. That means I'm telling you to put it in every single layer of the way, no matter if it's good or bad. You have to season it. You
Well,
know?
think about it. I mean, listen, I could make a dish and you could make a dish. We could make it the same exact way, but yours could be better. And that's because of your process and how you cook your
Yeah.
food.
But
And
that comes to procedures and practices and the patience it took to get to where I'm
there's
at.
the lifestyle,
The
brother.
three P's:
Yeah.
procedure, practice, patience.
Ba, 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 ba. Yeah. No, but really, and tangible triumph is here to also implement a sense of lifestyle into others. I love the messages that we share because when reality hits, you know, there's truth into the discussions that we have, and what we're really trying to put out there into the world is a true understanding of, for one, acceptance in with the person that you are, and then support to kind of discover who you can become.
Yeah,
it's
nah.
it's a long evolving process, and unfortunately that process will never be complete, because once you've reached a milestone you're always supposed to set another one. Life isn't supposed to stop. For me, I can't be content with a single situation. I have to go for more. It's not that burning desire to get more, and if I don't, I'm let down. It's the burning desire and drive to continue on.
Oh yeah. Because when I feel you, I'm gonna relate to you. Because when I don't have anything I'm looking forward to or I'm working on, I'm mad depressed. I'm
Yeah.
like, what's my purpose? Like, oh my goodness, I'm so in self pity when it comes to that. So then I'm just like, oh well, we'll do this instead, or we'll do that instead. Like I thrive on keeping going, you know?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, patience is virtue.
It's
Everybody heard that before.
patience is virtue, and virtue is only a part of it.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
it,
So
it's it's honestly, it's even an experience to be doing what we're doing at this current moment. We just reached 500 followers this past week.
oh
we're
yeah.
we're we're hitting up to 600. I mean,
Let's keep it up, everybody.
yeah. Oh yeah.
And thank you for your support, because without it, we would still be doing it. But it just means it makes us want to do it more and more. I'll tell you that much.
Absolutely. And it's not even the number that makes a difference. It's just the whole concept of just, really, really understanding that people are hearing the message, and the presentation is where the success lies. You know, passion's an important key to have in life.
Definitely. Definitely. Anything else you want to wrap up in today's episode, Will?
I mean, not necessarily. I think we touched on a lot. Do you have anything else you'd like to discuss today?
No, I'm pretty good. So just wanted, like I said, thank everybody once again for listening in.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a pleasure. And, as always, all rivers lead to the same ocean. Just don't swim upstream. Have an awesome week, everybody.
Peace out.
Peace.